Hi, and welcome to Heavenly Places. I am your host, Jeanette Hollowell. Welcome today, and I am so honored to have my guest, Ms. Brenda Massey. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. My guest today is, I said, Ms. Brenda Massey. She is I tell you, she is an amazing fashion designer, um, teacher, coach, friend.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
yes. And I'm so happy to have you here today for just to show your love for the skill and the creativity of sewing, designing. Um, that is an art that um, is like none other. One of the oldest arts that we know in history. And I just want to kind of pick your brain. You've been in this industry for many, many years.
Yes.
And I want to just, give you, just pour out your heart for being a designer, what it takes to be a designer, how you became to be a designer, what are your aspirations, and you're also a teacher.
Yes.
You're a teacher.
Yes.
And so, just first of all, tell us about you, Brenda, about yourself and how you came to be the designer that you are today.
Okay. Okay. First and foremost, I am a professional tailor by trade. I have been sewing in the industry for 48 years. I have been sewing 48 years. Sewing professionally, we can say 38 years.
Okay.
I also teach at Central Piedmont Community College, where I share my gift of teaching, of sewing with others. And I'm also an entrepreneur. I actually own my own business, Tailoring Techniques.
Yes.
And with that, I service from Maryland all the way down to Georgia. I have clients that I actually service in all those states.
And you also you teach from the not knowing what a pattern is.
Yes, I start them out at the beginning,
Yeah.
and we go all the way up to advanced alterations.
Alterations, exactly.
Yes.
When you and I met in Central Piedmont, your experience and where you have the clientele that you've serviced is just second to none. I mean, tell us all the where you've serviced, who you've worked for, and some of the clientele, and you've worked for some higher upper echelon clientele as well.
Yes. Well, I started early with my sewing career. I was actually 19 when I got my first sewing job at Belk's in Rock Hill. I was there for only like 7 months before I was picked up by Ivy's, and that tells people's age when you start mentioning Ivy's. I started sewing for Ivy's, and that was like a blessing and a start for me with my career.
Yeah.
And from Ivy's, I went to the Carriage, and if anybody is familiar with the Carriage, they had dresses for $20,000-$30,000. I could not afford anything in the store. But I was actually doing their alterations, and I felt honored to have that job because at that time I was only in my 20s.
Correct.
Yes, and customers had grown to know me and my skills, and when people said stuff couldn't be done, they would be, go get the little girl.
Yeah,
and I would
the
go
little
and-
girl is what they called you.
I was the youngest one. I was only 20-something years old. Everybody
Okay.
else was like 50, 60.
Uh-huh.
And I always loved to take on a challenge.
Yes.
So they would get the little girl, and the little girl would come in and work on magic.
Okay. And now, have you had like formal education, or did you just figure it out?
Well, my mother actually taught me to sew at the age of 8.
Okay.
And from there, I started sewing. By the time I got to be a senior in high school, I was making pretty much all of my clothes.
Okay.
My English teacher inspired me to do something with my talent. And I decided to go to it's a 2-year HBCU down in South Carolina.
Okay.
And Denmark Technical College.
Okay.
And I took tailoring.
Okay.
And from there, the 2 years at Tech, took tailoring. My instructor, Mr. Huey, picked up on my skills and everything, and I started working for him later on in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
And from there, my career just kept going and going.
Okay. Okay.
So it was nice.
And so you are the point teacher at Central Piedmont.
Yes.
You're the point teacher.
Yes.
And so you teach beginning, intermediate, and advanced
Yes.
sewing, and you also teach alterations.
Yes.
Alterations. What's the difference between alterations and just sewing from a pattern?
Okay, sewing from a pattern, you're creating a garment from the pattern. Alterations is after the garment is completed. Like if you have a suit, a dress, alterations is actually taking that garment and making it fit. Because most clothes actually fit about 80% of the people. I tell people, like, I can make your garment look like it's tailor-made.
Okay.
So if I have one particular customer, he's very active in the community, but he's frugal. He doesn't spend a lot of money on his clothes.
Okay.
But I actually do my magic,
Right.
and he looks real professional.
Right.
And I think he was at a convention, and everybody was amazed about his suit. And he told them he had got it from Walmart, and nobody believed him. So he had to actually show them the label in the suit. And they was like, well, man, how your suit look like that? And he said, he told them, you have to get them tailored.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, so.
And so students, so you have your own students, you have your clientele of students where they, and you are sought out. I know that for sure. You're sought out, and people are waiting for a chair, and and then your students are. Tell us about how you take your students, teach them how to read the pattern, how to measure, because you teach us how to. You have to actually take the measurements of your own body and to make it, because it's all about
Everything.
fit. Yes,
It's all about the fit, all about the measurements. But I like to start my students off with the very basics. I tell people I like to give you a foundation, because without that foundation, you will not be able to sew. You're gonna hit roadblocks, and all the stuff that I teach, I want you to have it for life. Something that you can use for the rest of your life, as far as
Right.
your skills and everything, and you can build upon that.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And so how do you see the sewing industry?
The sewing industry now it's kind of like when they say like tailoring is a dying art. Well, in the sewing industry now, a lot of manufacturers are having trouble finding people to actually sew, be able to sew. In the future, one of my future endeavors, I want to actually be able to have a training facility where I can actually teach women and men to sew, to be able to take on these jobs out in the community as far as sewing.
And so you mentioned men. That was the first mention of men. So you also sew men's clothes?
Yes, I sew everything. I sew
You
men's,
sew men's clothes?
Yes, men, women, bridal.
Bridal?
I do it all. I do it all.
Wow.
I do it all. And most of the students, every class that I have, I always have male students.
A male student. Okay. Okay. And so let's go over some of your bio. So we know how long you've been sewing, teaching sewing. What makes you passionate about sewing?
What made me so passionate about it, I love to actually see people learning. I say it's a gift that I have, and I like to share it with others. And when that light bulb comes on, I say they got it, and I know, and that just makes me feel. It just makes me feel
That
really
warms
good.
your heart.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, yeah.
It does, and I will
Yeah.
go beyond to help people.
You will go above, yeah.
Above and beyond,
Yeah.
just to help someone.
Yeah, because historically, a lot of times seamstresses don't like to give away their secrets. They don't like to give away, they don't like, they kind of keep it close to the vest. But you're saying that you're kind of just like, you want to share that.
I will share my secrets because I say what's for me is for me. And
there you go.
It's through those secrets that I share actually help others, and also it actually helps my business because I'm often referred by others.
So has sewing affected you personally? What has it done in your personal life?
Well, sewing in my personal life, I look at it spiritually and then I look at it financially. Spiritually, this is my gift. This is what God actually gave me, and it shows. People call me a miracle worker. I'm out in the trenches every day, and like they say, your passion is like something you'll do for free. I help so many people. I don't charge them. I do stuff for people. I don't charge them. Even at CP, one. I tell them it's a job, but it's something that I love, and they pay me, but still I can actually do that for free because I actually love it. I just love sewing.
Wonderful. So your goal is to train. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So with that portion of our segment, we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back and continue on with Miss Brenda Massey.
Okay.
Thank you. And welcome back to Heavenly Places. I am your host, Jeanette Hollowell, and we are back with our guest, Miss Brenda Massey. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
How are we doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So earlier, and we just kind of early in our segment, we got just an overview of your history, your passion, your skills, where you've, the clientele that you've serviced, some very, high-end clientele. And also, so what I would like to concentrate on now is your vision. And, you say you want to teach.
Yes.
How would you, what type of model you want to, are you looking for a building? Are you looking for virtual? I mean, some people do virtual. Some designers, they do virtual. So what would you say your vision looks like? Because from what I, known about you, you're more of a hands-on.
Yes.
So what would your model look like?
Well, my vision is I dream and I dream big. Okay, and my vision is to get a warehouse, and I want to have it housed with all the equipment that everyone would need to actually start a project from beginning to end. Most of the students that come through Central Piedmont don't have all the necessary equipment to actually complete their garments. A lot of people out in the community that's sewing don't have the equipment to complete their garments.
And it takes a while to gather.
To build up.
Exactly.
Yes, it's expensive.
Yes.
So I want to have a central location that house all the necessary equipment where they can come in, and it's going to be like a gym membership where they'll be able to come in and sew and do what they need to do.
Okay.
And be able to complete their garments.
Okay. And have you done fashion shows?
I've done fashion
Is that
shows in the
something that's
past.
okay? How do you feel about that?
I love them. I actually attended a fashion show last week with the Charlotte Week, and it was really nice, and it kind of, you know,
But
took
got
me
your
back.
juices going. Got your juices going.
Yes, and it was
yeah.
it was
Because you
really
you
nice.
could do that
It
with
was
hands
really
down.
nice,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And so, what about youngsters? I mean, how young would you go in terms of teaching? What do you? Yeah. How young would you go?
I would actually like to start around maybe about 6 to 8, somewhere in that category, because my grandchildren actually, they have always been around when I was sewing, so I would put them at the machine, and they know how to hold their hands to keep them away from the needles.
Right.
And plus you got the guards and stuff.
Right.
And the kids now are so smart. They're
Right.
so smart.
Right.
They'll be able to get through it.
Okay. Okay. And so, do you have a business plan going, or do you have anyone to help you at this point? I mean, or are you still thinking through that in your head? I mean, where are you at that point?
Okay, at this point, I just obtained my business license back in March.
Okay.
And I do have a financial advisor who is advising me along the way,
Okay.
and also a business partner.
Wonderful.
That's J. Max Alexander at Spartan Financial Management.
Okay.
He's the one. He's the mastermind behind
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
So I bounce my ideas off of him, and then I'll just let him do what he has to do.
And
Yes,
so, so you do alterations, you do sewing from pattern, you do bridal. Which one is your favorite?
my favorite is it would be like the designing part, because I believe in, like, when it comes down to fashion, you're able to express yourself through fashion. So I like to actually put stuff together. I like to take stuff. I go to thrift stores a lot to look at clothes and stuff, and sometimes I just bounce off of something I see, rip it up, change it, and make it my own.
Right.
And I love doing stuff like that.
So how will we contact you? Do you have a website or Facebook page, or how if someone wanted to contact you, how would we contact you?
Okay, right now I'm on Facebook, and it's under Brenda Martin Massey, and also on Instagram at Brenda Martin Massey.
Okay.
Going forth in the future, I will be putting up my business website for my business.
Okay.
So the name of that is Tailoring Techniques, so y'all can look out.
Tailoring Techniques.
Yes, y'all can look out for Tailoring Techniques, because it's coming.
Wonderful. Brenda, I have been, and as you know, when we first met, I told you, I said, I've been looking for you. I said, I've been looking for you all my life, because you are such you're down to earth. Your heart for this particular skill is very transparent, and I'm really, really, really happy that we met.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank
I
you.
know we're going to do some things in the future. I don't know what, but I'm so happy that you were able to come.
Okay, thank you.
And
I enjoyed being here.
and sit with us today. And I enjoy my dress. When she told me she don't, but she does. You don't take no wooden nickels. She was like, rip it out. She said, no, rip it out. But that's what we need. We need someone to make us, and I consider myself, pretty, but you always have someone to take you to that higher level. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny, because when you talk about, like, take it out, I tell people I'm old school. A lot of the young kids now are draping. They're doing all the draping and all that stuff, and working with Muslim. I'm old school. Our minds come from the table. Everything I do is gonna come from the table. I don't do the draping and everything. And a lot of students that come to me, they have this design, they have this vision, and I tell them, sweetie, that's not gonna work.
Right.
And they was like, yes, it is, yes, it is. And then when they put it together, they see it don't work. And
Right.
I tell people I know cloth, I know fabric, I
That's
know,
another thing.
yes,
Yes.
I know what it's going to do, what
Right.
it can't do.
Right.
So when you put these dreams and visions together, you have to know what you're doing.
So what you're saying is that you have to know how the fabric is going to
Yes.
react
Yes.
to a certain design. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
And that's important. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, body types, everything.
Body types.
That's why I love the school that I actually went to, Denmark Tech. We learned body types. We learned everything. We had to learn colors. We did it all.
Right.
So in order to like I style people. I style you according to your body. A lot of these young stylists, they style according to the fashion. Everybody's body is not for certain fashions. So I actually, you know, I kind of stick out, stand outside,
Right.
you know, opposed to all these young stylists
Right.
of today.
But you know, eventually they'll come around
will.
to what the because there's basics in sewing and designing, and you just can't get around that.
That's true.
You know, you just can't. You know, couture is there's certain things that you have to do in order to, but then also you want to make sure that your garment lasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Good. This has been, I've been really excited to interview you. And I wanted to make sure that I wore my dress that you, in honor of, you know, because when I left, I didn't finish it, but I finished it for today. But I finished it for today.
Okay.
And do it look okay?
It looks beautiful.
Do it look all right?
It looks
okay.
beautiful.
Okay, great, great. Yes.
Yes.
Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, well, that class is actually, I think since you took the class, we added another week. So now we're actually into 6 weeks at the class at CP. So my boss is amazed of what the students actually can do in 6 weeks. That's from start to finish. So,
Well, they
yes.
knew it all the time, though,
Yes.
does it? But, you know, so. Yes. Anything else you want to share?
Well, I would just like to say that sewing is it's my heart, it's my passion, it's my love. For the last 35 years, I have been in the Charlotte area. I will continue my journey as teaching, mentoring, and if someone needs some advice, some bridal, anything, you know, they can just get in touch with me.
Will do. Wonderful.
Okay.
All right. All right. And so let's go over just a few other. So on one of your questions that we asked you about was, what is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment is actually my kids, which is what I'm tied into with the sewing. But my greatest accomplishment is my kids. They actually have been my biggest supporters over the years because I was a single parent. My kids, they always pushing me and referring me to others. Being a single parent, a business owner, my kids have both are business owners and everything. So, and we bounce off of each other.
Wonderful.
And
That's
I'm
good.
actually trying to get a business with all three of us, me and my son and my daughter.
In the sewing industry?
Well, my son is a chef. My daughter is an event planner.
Oh, well, there you
And
go.
I'm a sewer, so when she gets weddings, she sends them to me.
Okay.
My son can be cooking, so we all bouncing off of each other.
Okay, awesome. That's big. Yeah,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And so, what else? Do you have any hobbies related in the fashion industry?
My biggest hobby is shopping. So, with most women, my biggest hobby is shopping. And when I go shopping, I not only shop for myself, but I also shop for others. And and I actually just tie that into my styling and all everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is green.
It's green. Okay.
And there's a story behind that. When I was 13, my aunt told me I looked good in green. So I've been wearing green ever since, and it turned into my favorite color.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what is your favorite fabric?
My favorite fabric probably would be really all fabrics, because I love everything. Because I mean, you can go with a silk or a cotton. It depends on the event, the style, whatever. But
Okay.
I'm into all fabrics.
So
all
is there a
fabrics.
fabric that you prefer not to use?
Satin,
Satin.
shiny satin.
Satin.
Yes, I love dull satin, but the shiny satins are the worst for me.
Okay. How about your leather? Do you do leather?
I do leather,
You do leather?
and that's something that's hard to find somebody that alters leather. In school, we was taught to work on leather, so that sets me aside from a lot of other alteration shops and stuff.
Okay.
Because a lot of people do not do leather; they send it off. I can actually work on leather.
Wow. I tell you,
Yep.
a gem.
Yep.
A
Yep.
gem. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so let's see. How has sewing impacted your life?
Sewing has impacted my life because I sew every day. Every day. It interferes with my social life. It interferes with everything. And as I tell people, my whole life revolves around a sewing machine. I finance my home, everything, from that sewing machine. So
Wow.
I love the life that I have. I love what I'm doing, and yeah.
And that was back to one of our earlier guests that you said, just find what you love. Find what you love. And and you have found what you love.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm a firm believer of when they say your gift will make room for you.
There you go.
It will.
Yes.
It definitely will, and it has.
Yes, 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 absolutely. This, I've been waiting to, to have, we met and we talked, and I've really been waiting to have our conversation, and I really, really do appreciate all that you've, just in a little bit of time that I've known you, you've made an impact on my life, because you're just you're a good person, and
Thank you.
and you are, anytime that you pour into other people, that's I like that. So I'm glad that you were able to come
Okay, thank you.
and sit with us and tell us about this amazing industry of designing. And you're going to do well. You're going to do well.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that will do it for us today. And we want to thank you so much for joining Heavenly Places. I am your host, Jeanette Hollowell. And join us next week. And thank you again for joining. Bye-bye.